It's over, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. Hallelujah. Let's hope that the bad memories also go away along with the Egghead saga. Now we're moving on to the Giants saga. Well, I like the chapter. It's a conclusive chapter with some good and not so good things. But today I want to focus exclusively on a theory. Today we're going to theorize about the ancient and mysterious origins of this character that we see in shadow at the end. No, not that one. And I'm talking about that infernal character who's holding a bottle, drinking, and says, Come, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you in Elbaf. But who is this man? Before we find out, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and leave a quick comment. So how do we start? With some images that retrace the path towards Scar of Fire, because in my opinion, that character is none other than the mysterious Scar of Fire, Haino Kizu, the man with the fire scar, the man marked by fire, the man with the fire wounds. We'll figure out the translations one day when we actually see the face of this man. Let's start from the beginning, from his first mention in the manga. Here we are in chapter 1056, Cross Guild, where we see Trafalgar Law handing a copy of Kaido's road poneglyph to Kid. I'll read the dialogue. Killer. What the hell is this? Law. A copy of the road poneglyph text. You guys are entitled to your share too. It wouldn't be fair for us to take it all. Killer. So Kaido had one too. It's like the one you had Big Mom's commander steal, Fafa. To participate in the race for the great One Piece treasure, we should take this matter seriously too. And this is where this mysterious character comes into play. Kid asks, are you saying we should look for the man with the fire scar? But we don't have enough information. Law's face darkens, as if he knows what they're talking about. But obviously they're not allies anymore, so he's not obligated to share information with his rival. Robin doesn't know who they're talking about, which rules out any connection with the Revolutionary Army, Dragon, and all that other crap. Luffy doesn't know who it is either. And Kid says, you don't know him? Then this works to our advantage. And Luffy insists, what is it? Tell us. So it's obvious that this character is important just by the logic of the manga, not even the grammar, the logic of the story. Because they get a road poneglyph, now they have two, Big Moms and Wanos. And Killer says, if we want to take the matter of becoming Pirate King seriously, we need these things that Scar of Fire knows very well. Perfect. Let's move on. We're at the second scene of interest, chapter 1081, Kuzan, the 10th Titanic captain of Blackbeard's crew. Katarina Devon is laughing. Speaking of scars, Admiral, does this guy know Scar of Fire? Even Kuzan doesn't know. Scar of Fire is mentioned as one of the 4 possessors of the important red poneglyphs, 2 of which are said to be in the hands of Kaido and Big Mom. This is about a year before the time skip. Teach says, while the other 2 are missing, one of them is said to be in the hands of the man with the fire scar. So, another piece of information. Haino Kizu holds the 4th road poneglyph, the one that disappeared from Fishman Island, the one Roger found in Ryugu's marine forest. Aokiji comments, could it be me? And Vasco Shot says, what are you talking about? Your scars are still fresh. Then Lafitte adds, ho, that guy sails on a ship as black as pitch. Another piece of information, a black ship, completely black. To this day, we haven't seen any completely black ships. There are ships with black details, partially black, like the Kuroneko Pirates ship, for example. But it wasn't completely black. Dragon's ship, which people are fixated on, isn't black but green, with details that are also orange. So no one has a completely black ship. Then Lafitte adds, it said that when you approach it, it swallows enemy ships with a huge whirlpool. Here, it could be talking about huge whirlpools. In Japan, context is important. So there are particular atmospheric events that cause the sea to create whirlpools, sinking the enemy ships. Lafitte continues, it could be a person with powers. And finally, Shayu says, I think it's a government agent. After all, the world government is very secretive. If they had a poneglyph, pirates wouldn't be able to reach the One Piece. Here we see the scene from the anime recently released in Japan, where Scar of Fire envelops his enemies with these huge marine whirlpools. Well, we have some data. Scar of Fire is a man-male with scars from who knows what, or maybe he inflicted them on himself because he's a masochist. Just kidding, of course. He sails on a ship as black as pitch, and when someone gets close, whirlpools and eddies start sinking the enemies. If we look at the figure from chapter 1124, assuming it is Scar of Fire, though it might not be, that character reminds us entirely of the character seen in the mini-adventure. When the Straw Hats have just returned after 2 years of training, we see Crocus at the Twin Capes with Laboon, drinking sake with this other character dressed in a kimono and wearing a kasa, the classic Straw Hats we saw all over during the Wano saga. Back then, of course, the first impression was that it might be Shiki. But anyone with a bit of logic cannot think it's Shiki. 1, because he was one of Roger's greatest enemies. 2, because Shiki has a helm stuck in his skull, so that Kasa wouldn't be there if he had a helm in his head. He would have to be much taller. Plus, Oda himself said that movie characters don't appear in the present timeline of the manga. They can appear in flashbacks, but not in the present. So, this can't be Shiki. Who could this mysterious character be? Then the colored version of the manga came out, showing blonde hair, and the Shiki theories took off. However, the details I mentioned before go against this. The point is that aside from the main characters, background characters are colored randomly by those who color the scans. It's not Oda who colors these scans, there are teams that work on coloring these things. The sensei specifies the main characters' colors, like Crocus and Laboon, but not this character, so the coloring we saw might be wrong unless proven otherwise. In fact, in the colored version, there are characters who initially have certain colors and then different ones. For example, Such was blonde at first, then brown. Koala, for instance, had lighter hair as a child, but as an adult her hair is orange. So even the hair color of this character could change. Therefore, this image might depict an old man with white hair wearing a straw hat and a kimono, as you see in this image that I've decolored. I've also changed the coat to not make him look like the same character all the time. But jokes aside, this is the theory that connects two of the biggest questions in the fandom. The first, what happened to Gaban? The second, what happened to the Oro Jackson? So let me take you to chapter 0, Strong World. Here we see Shiki and Roger facing each other. This scene is important for two reasons. First, to debunk that it could be Shiki. Second, to highlight an important detail. Shiki says, "We've talked about this a lot, Roger. When we were young, we've been through a lot, but let's leave it all behind. With the weapon capable of destroying the world, which you know the location of, and my military strength, plus the perfect plan I've put together over years, we could dominate the world right now. Become my right hand, Roger." Roger replies, "I'm not interested in ruling, Shiki. If I can't do what I want, what's the point of being a pirate? No matter how much pressure you try to put on me, I reject your offer, Golden Lion." And here's the caption. Known as the great boss of the mighty pirate fleet, Shiki Golden Lion fought against the future pirate king, Goldie Roger. This event went down in history as the Battle of Edwar. Roger's ship, which seemed destined for a hopeless situation, was suddenly saved by a violent storm that sank half of Shiki's mighty fleet. Additionally, an unexpected incident struck Shiki, and the battle ended in a draw, allowing Roger to escape the battlefield. Shiki, since then, has had a helm stuck in his head, which can never be removed, or he would die. But it's emphasized that a fortunate storm saved Roger. So, where am I going with this? I repeat, it could all be a huge nonsense, but I like to think that the ship, as black as pitch, is nothing but the Oro Jackson, painted black to completely disappear from the radar. This way, we answer the question, where is the Oro Jackson? The Oro Jackson is the Fire Scar. And who is Scar of Fire? It's Gaban, Roger's navigator. And how are these whirlpools, these eddies, these storms created? They're caused by the creature that was in that damned egg. So we also answered the third question. What was in the egg? There's something that creates these strong storms that take down the enemy. Therefore, Scopper is waiting for the Straw Hats in Elbaf as the third guardian of Laughtale. Crocus at the beginning of the Grand Line, Rayleigh in the middle, and Scopper at the end. Scopper the navigator with the Oro Jackson and the egg that causes these whirlpools. The egg may have hatched, perhaps. It would be nice if this creature lived in the land of giants. We'll find out if it's true, if it's not true, and all the rest. But if it's true, it works for me. It's consistent. Then whether you like it or not, it's not up to me. It's up to Oda. But for me, it's a path that works because it answers 3 questions you all have asked. The egg, the ship, and Scopper. So, this explains why Scopper was with Crocus. Luffy had returned. This guy was sailing with his little boat doing things. He found Crocus. They drank together. Old hearts, like real brothers, hadn't seen each other for who knows how many years, and so they celebrated together. When we finally see the truth, we'll understand. This is my theory, my hypothesis. The appearance of Scar of Fire revealed, which as many have said, could be Gaban, but now I see a path. It's not just thrown out there. Yeah, it's Gaban because I want to see Gaban. What do I care about Gaban? I mean, if it makes sense, then things make sense, they work, and they can have a place in the story. Otherwise, they're just random nonsense. And we don't like random nonsense, at least I don't. I like things that work. Then whether it will be or not, we'll find out in due time. I'll stop here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the theory. If you didn't like it, tell me why. Subscribe or join the channel to support my work. I'll say goodbye. Be good and have fun. Bye bye.